Okay, my name's Simon Bingham and this is part of my JNCIE Enterprise series where I'm covering the BGP path selection criteria. Right, we're getting down to the end of the list now. I think I've covered IGP metrics. We're now, these are all real tiebreaker things now, so I think I'm going to cover, let's have a look. If both paths are external, prefer the currently active path to minimize route flapping. That means I'm going to be happy with things like they are, and I'm not going to change things unless there's a good reason. So the rule is not used if both peers have the same route ID, confederation peer, neither is current active path. Okay, so if it just comes up, basically it's saying it's going to continue down here, but it's going to prefer stability now. And I think we've seen this in some of the ones already, but what I'm going to do is, if we look at R12, right, and the same thing again, so we look at its consideration of how to get to this guy. All things are equal at the moment, so how is it going to choose which route to take? Well, it's going to choose whichever one is currently the route is the one that's going to stay the route. So stay active. So let's have a look at what's active now. So let's go show route. Run show route 100.0.0.626. We've got 4 possible possibilities to here. Let's do detail and let's see why it's not active. Look, it's saying here the active one is preferred, and I'm currently preferring to get there via router 25, which is this one here. So what I'll do here is I'll do something very brutal and I will bounce router 25. The routing process. Don't do this in a production environment, it's just an easy thing to do in a lab environment. Run, restart protocols, routing, sorry. Yeah, do this in a production environment if you want to lose your job. So if we have a quick little wait for things to stabilize again in a minute, because it takes a little bit for it to come back up. We just pause the video and wait for this to come back. Okay, so it only took a few seconds, but we see things are back up. So let's have a look at what we have now, what we're preferring as the best path. So we're preferring to go via 10.0.1.78, which is interface 5, which is here. So it's flipped its allegiance from here to here. So that's it really, prove that works. Now let me just show you something interesting here, is that router 10, so if we go to router 10, in the top right hand corner, what's that doing to choose to get to that route? So if we go to router 10 and I do show route 100.0.0.026, don't really know what it's choosing. What we're interested in is why, so let's have a look. So here it's saying the inactive reason, or the ones that are active, is the router ID. Well, if we look at the rules here, it says for BGP both paths are external. Prefer the currently active path, yada yada yada. Both paths are external. So it seems like if it's got 2 internal paths with all the criteria the same, metrics, yada 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 yada, this doesn't come into play. It seems this is only if you have 2 peers. This is to kind of minimise eBGP flapping. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do is, as this video is so short, I'll cover number 11 as well. So it says here, for BGP, prefer the path from the peer with the lowest router ID. Well, it sort of shows that already, because it's preferring path. It's preferring this with a lower router ID from router 10, rather than this one with router 13, which is a high router ID. So all things equal, and not choosing stability, I'm going to choose the lowest router ID. But let's prove it a little bit more. I'll go on to router 12, and what we'll do, it says there's a command, I've never done this, but we'll give this a go. Configure set path selection, I think. Compare external router IDs. So this basically overrides the stability option we've just been looking at for number 10. So it's saying here, if we do path selection, external router ID is configured, then this doesn't work, and we then trip onto using the router ID. Right, now let's have a look at what we're choosing to get to that route. We're currently choosing the path 30 to N interior 30, so it's going via this path here, and this happens to have the lower router ID, but let's prove that that's not just a stability issue. So what I will do, once again, will be very brutal, and we'll restart routing on this guy, and we'll jump on to 12, and let's look at the route. So at the moment it's still choosing, choosing the route while that routing pressure is coming back up. It's choosing to go via 78, and if we just look at sorry, let's wait for those until they'll come back up again. So let's have a look, and we are now back to choosing going via 1-17. So we're back. We're definitely using the router ID now. It's the lowest router ID that's a tiebreaker.